Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because what happened on The View yesterday has already broken the internet and sent shockwaves through Hollywood. The headline screaming across every tabloid and social media platform right now is simple: Joy Behar quits The View after an absolutely explosive, no-holds-barred confrontation with none other than country music legend Billy Ray Cyrus. Yes, you heard that right, the same Billy Ray who gave us Achy Breaky Heart back in the 90s. The father of Miley Cyrus, and recently the star of more headlines than actual music charts. What started as what producers thought would be a lighthearted segment about his new single and his very public support for certain political figures turned into a full-on verbal cage match that left Joy Behar red-faced, speechless at times, and ultimately walking off the set mid-show, reportedly tendering her resignation before the commercial break even ended. Sources inside ABC say the control room went dead silent, co-hosts were frozen, and even the live audience didn't know whether to gasp or applaud. By the time the show cut to a hastily thrown-together cooking segment, Joy was already in a car heading home, telling her driver through tears that 27 years was enough if this was the direction the network wanted to go. This wasn't just another spicy Hot Topics moment, this was career-ending television in real time. And we're going to break down every single second of how we got here. Let's set the stage properly because context is everything. Billy Ray Cyrus was booked as the lead guest to promote his latest country gospel album and to talk about his very outspoken conservative views that have alienated a huge chunk of the old Nashville establishment but gained him a massive new following online. The View's producers knew exactly what they were doing when they put him in the chair opposite Joy Behar, who has never exactly hidden her progressive politics or her willingness to go for the jugular on live television. From the moment Billy Ray sat down with that black cowboy hat and that trademark mullet and beard combo, you could feel the tension crackling. Whoopi tried to keep it light. Alyssa Farah Griffin asked a softball about his grandkids, but everyone knew the real fireworks would come when Joy got her turn. And boy did she ever. She didn't ease in with pleasantries, she went straight for the throat, asking Billy Ray point-blank how he could sleep at night supporting policies and politicians that she claimed were destroying democracy and hurting marginalized communities. The audience leaned forward. This wasn't the usual scripted banter. Billy Ray just smiled that slow southern smile and said, "Joy, with all due respect, darlin', I sleep just fine knowing I'm standing on the side of working-class Americans who've been forgotten by people sitting in studios in New York City." You can literally hear the collective intake of breath from the audience. That's when things went from spicy to nuclear. Joy fired back that maybe those working-class Americans would be better off if certain people stopped spreading conspiracy theories and division. She brought up January 6th, she brought up election denialism. She even threw in a dig about his daughter Miley supposedly being embarrassed by him. Billy Ray didn't yell, he didn't scream, but his voice dropped about 2 octaves and he looked Joy dead in the eye and said, "Ma'am, I've buried friends, I've held dying soldiers in my arms on USO tours, I've seen what real division looks like, and it ain't a difference of opinion on a talk show. What I see is a whole lot of coastal elites telling the rest of the country how backwards and dumb we are while they cash checks from pharmaceutical companies and open borders that flood small towns with fentanyl." The audience erupted, half cheering, half booing so loud the floor director almost called for security. Joy tried to interrupt, talking over him about facts and democracy dying, but Billy Ray just kept going, calm as Sunday morning, laying out statistic after statistic about crime rates, inflation under the current administration, and what he called the deliberate destruction of the American middle class. For the first time in years, Joy Behar was not in control of the conversation, and you could see it eating her alive on national television. Here's where it crossed the point of no return. Joy, visibly flustered and raising her voice, accused Billy Ray of being a grifter who abandoned country music for right-wing clout, claiming his career was only relevant again because he attached himself to controversial political figures. She actually said, and I quote, "You went from achy breaky heart to breaking America's heart." The audience groaned at the corniness, but Billy Ray didn't laugh. Instead he leaned forward, looked straight into the camera, and delivered the line that will be replayed a billion times on TikTok and X for the next decade. Joy, the only thing I broke was the illusion that people like you actually care about regular Americans when the cameras are off. You sit here in your Manhattan bubble, telling flyover country how to live, how to vote, how to think, while your network fires people for wrong think and cancels anyone who doesn't toe the progressive line. I may have a mullet, but at least I'm not the one with egg on my face right now. The place absolutely exploded. Whoopi tried to cut to commercial, but Joy was already standing up, ripping off her mic, telling Billy Ray he was a disgrace to entertainment and that she refused to share a stage with fascist apologists. Backstage sources say she was screaming at producers that if this was the new standard for guests, she was done. By the time they came back from break, Joy's chair was empty, and Whoopi had to do the most awkward pivot in daytime television history, pretending nothing happened while Sunny Hostin looked like she'd seen a ghost. Within an hour, Page 6, TMZ, and every major outlet had confirmation from Joy's representatives that she had officially informed ABC she would not be returning to The View effective immediately, citing an irrevocable breach of the respectful discourse she believed the show once stood for. Social media is an absolute war zone right now. Conservatives are calling it the greatest mic drop moment in talk show history and crowning Billy Ray Cyrus the undisputed king of owning the libs, while progressive commentators are accusing ABC of ambushing Joy and platforming dangerous rhetoric. Clips of the exchange have already surpassed 100 million views across platforms, with hashtags like #JoyQuits and #BillyRayOwned trending worldwide. Even Miley Cyrus broke her silence with a cryptic Instagram story that just said "sometimes the truth hurts" with a broken heart emoji, which everyone is reading as shade toward Joy. Late-night hosts are scrambling to rewrite monologues, and betting sites have already opened odds on who ABC will try to replace her with. So where do we go from here? The View without Joy Behar is like peanut butter without jelly, like Yankee Stadium without the bleacher creatures. It's unthinkable to longtime viewers, yet here we are. Ratings for yesterday's episode are reportedly through the roof, the highest in almost a decade, which means ABC is in the awkward position of having to decide whether to condemn the chaos or quietly thank Billy Ray for the numbers. Insiders say the network is in full damage control mode, with executives floating the idea of bringing Joy back for a farewell season to smooth things over. But sources close to Behar say she's already lawyered up and shopping a tell-all book deal worth 8 figures. As for Billy Ray, he posted a simple Bible verse on X last night, Psalm 23, about walking through the valley of the shadow of death, along with the caption "Some battles choose you." Whether you love him or hate him, one thing is crystal clear: in under 10 minutes of television, Billy Ray Cyrus didn't just defend his beliefs, he potentially ended one of the longest-running careers in daytime TV. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you turn a simple guest appearance into the moment that will be studied in media classes for decades to come. Joy Behar didn't just quit The View yesterday, she became the latest casualty in America's culture war, and Billy Ray Cyrus walked away the unlikely general who fired the winning shot.